It's another Top 5 Tuesday, and you're in luck because you get me this week while Geoff's riding water slides. We've got baseball, hockey, and basketball with a surprise at number 1 that we haven't ever done before. Let's see which cards are going up. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Top 5 Tuesday. My name is Tyler Nethercott, better known as Teapot, and I'm back in the captain's seat this week while Geoff is getting some sun and getting toasty, and I'm ready to update you on some cards that have gotten toasty recently. Today's Top 5 is sponsored by Whatnot. Whatnot has awesome live auctions every day and night, starting at just $1 for packs, boxes, breaks, singles, and more. It's a lot of fun, and if you scan the QR code on your screen or use the special link in our show description below, you'll get $15 in free credit when you sign up for Whatnot. And guys and gals, that's just in time for the Whatnot Card Show, which is running this Thursday through Sunday from 2 p.m. until midnight. And you can check it out. We've got our Cards HQ breaks, our Cards HQ live selling channels. If you want all the details, just check the description down below and make sure you get that $15 in free credit. Now let's take a look at the overall sports card market with Market Pulse by Market Movers. So over the last 7 days, the SCI 500 index of 500 of the most prominent sports cards is up 0.8%. Over the last 30 days, it is up 1.7%. And since January 1st, the SCI 500 is up 2.3%. The best performing category of cards over the last 30 days is still basketball from 2018 to 2020, which is up 15.6%. And the worst performing category is hockey from 2018 to 2020, which is down 12.5%. As a reminder, the cards you'll see in today's show have gone up in price recently, but are not necessarily good investments right now. Do your own research to decide which cards you think will go up in value next. All right, you know I'm excited to get into the hot cards, but before we do, we always talk about a cold card, and this week it is Jackson Chourio, the 20-year-old center fielder for the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, the Brewers have found themselves ahead of the pack in the NL Central with a 3-game advantage on the Chicago Cubs. We had lots of drama with Craig Counsell coming back, having gone to the Cubs, to Milwaukee. People were booing him. And one of the players that the Brewers are very excited about, that Counsell must not have been, is Jackson Chourio. He spent the last 3 years shining in the Brewers farm system, and he earned himself on a spot on the opening day lineup on the roster this season. Now, after a solid first few weeks of the season, Chourio has really struggled as of late, going 12 of 55 in the month of May, bringing his season WAR down to negative 0.3, with an OPS plus of just 67. Now, if you don't know OPS plus, that basically means 100 is league average. Anything below or above that is, better or worse than the league average. Well, 67 is abysmal. And due to the lackluster performance by Chourio, he has lost playing time over the last few weeks with 2 other young stars and even some veterans on the Brewers roster. Now, one fun fact about Chourio is that he originally signed with the Brewers as a 16-year-old in 2021, but this past offseason, he signed the largest contract ever for a player with no major league service. All of Chourio's cards, as tracked by Market Movers, are down 18.3% collectively over the last 30 days. That's on 128 different cards, totaling 785 sales. And here we've got a sampling of those cards, 3 different cards. You've got his Bowman Chrome Prospect Sapphire PSA 9, and that's obviously Bowman Sapphire. Everybody loves Bowman Sapphire. This is Pop 337, and one nice little feature on Market Movers, you can click this to see how many there are higher. 917 higher. That's a pretty good gem rate on a modern card. And then we've got his Chrome Prospect, just his base card, base Chrome Prospects card in a PSA 10, as well as his Chrome Prospect Mega Box Refractor here, that nice Mojo Mega Box effect on that card. That's Pop 2400. All 3 of these cards you can see over the last 60 days, just trending down, 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 down. This one's down 34%, 42%, and 49% respectively. And if we look even over the last 90 days, you can see they're coming down even more significantly. So Chourio, over the last year and a half, there was a lot of buzz around him. We saw some spikes up, and then it's pretty much been a free fall as people were anticipating him to hit the opening day roster, and he hasn't lived up to the hype. This week, our cold card, Jackson Chourio. All right, shifting gears to our investment card this week. These are, of course, the cards that we feel like have a little more investment potential, a little bit more of an established track record, whether it's an iconic set, an iconic player, or both. And this week, it's Willis Reed, the center for the New York Knicks, who played from 1964 to 1974. And we are zooming in on 1969 Topps in particular here. This was the Topps grand re-entry into the basketball card market after a 12-year hiatus. They had 1957 Topps, famously featuring Bill Russell. And it came back in 1969, which marked one of the hobby's first set of basketball inserts. These were the ruler cards featuring caricatures from some of the players in this set. And you can see those cards here on our sales history. Very cool cards, really long. You get these long featured PSA slabs and from the other grading companies. So really, really cool cards. Definitely a fan favorite. And not a terribly cost prohibitive point of entry for most of these cards when you're relatively speaking with vintage cards. Now, specific to Reed, over his 10-year career, he averaged 18.7 points per game and 12.9 rebounds in 650 regular season games. He was selected to play in 7 All-Star games. He won Rookie of the Year, 1 MVP, 2 Finals MVPs, and 2 NBA championships. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1982. And one fun fact, in 1970, Reed became the first player in NBA history to earn MVP honors in the same All-Star game, regular season, and the NBA Finals, all in the same season. So let's jump over and take a look at some of his other cards. The card we're talking about here is 1969 Topps number 60. And these are, of course, kind of the tall boy cards, they refer to them. Not as tall as the rulers, but bigger than a standard card. And there is only one PSA 10. This card is Pop 1. And that card actually did sell publicly for $150,000 little under a year ago, back in July of 2023. So you can see, when you have these vintage cards, we all know this, when there's a top tier grade and it's a Pop 1 or even Pop 3, those are going to command a premium. So we can deselect that card from the chart here and show you the rest of the cards. I've got his PSA, let's look at his PSA 9. That one's going to set you back about $10,000. That one recently sold, Pop 31, sold on May 19th. Kind of dropping down, then we start to get actually quite a bit more affordable again, especially for one of the most iconic basketball sets of all time. PSA 8, $508, and a PSA 7, that one's going to be $275. Willis Reed is our investment card of the week. All right, let's start counting down the top 5 hot cards of this week. And at number 5, it is Miro Heiskanen, the defenseman for the Dallas Stars. The Stars have found themselves in the Western Conference Finals for the second time in 2 years. They lost last year to the eventual champion Vegas Golden Knights, and they are currently ahead of the Oilers as of recording this video on Tuesday, 2-1. Heiskanen has had the tall task of trying to slow down the high-powered offense of the Oilers, most notably, of course, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, but really that entire Edmonton offense is a threat, especially if you watched my video last Saturday on the Market Movers channel, the Data Dive. Heiskanen had just 9 goals in the regular season, but he has 5 goals and 9 assists in the playoffs this year, and that performance, plus the Stars winning, has his card prices surging. Now, Heiskanen is known for his exceptional skating skills. Many hockey analysts say that he has one of the smoothest and quickest strides in the entire NHL, and his cards are quickly and smoothly skyrocketing. All of his cards, as tracked by Market Movers, are up 47.5% collectively over the last 30 days, and we've got a couple of those cards here. So we've got his Young Guns. We always like to look at Young Guns for hockey. PSA 10, that's Pop 1220, not the highest pop count, back from 2018 Upper Deck. And this card started out, we're looking at the last 60 days, so this card actually started at about $50, most recently having sold for $78.64. So that's a 57% increase. And his BGS 9.5, nice to see BGS getting some sales history that we can track here. That card also up 100% actually. That card started out, you could have bought that card back on April 27th for just $21. And most recently that card sold on May 23rd for about double that, $42.34. Our number 5 hot card this week, Miro Heiskanen. All right, at number 4, one of the most electric players right now to watch in baseball in short bursts, the relief pitcher for the Oakland Athletics, Mason Miller. Now, despite a poor 2023 campaign, the A's as a team have found themselves winning close games in 2024. They're actually competing in advance of their relocation to Las Vegas, and this is in part due to the tenacity and skill of their closing pitcher, Mason Miller. Now, Miller has compiled 10 saves this season, in which 5 of them he struck out the side to seal the win. That means he struck out all 3 batters. Miller features a 4-seam fastball, which averages 101 miles per hour and sometimes tickles 104, coupled with a devastating slider that has left not a few hitters buckling to their knees with awkward swings. Now, year to date, he has straight up video game stats with 45 strikeouts in 23 innings. He's basically striking out 2 out of every 3 batters, and he's only surrendered 11 hits in those outings. He has a 1.96 ERA. All of his cards, as tracked by market movers, are up 17% collectively over the last 30 days. And before I jump over to our charts, I want to point you out to baseballsavant.mlb.com. This is a great resource if you're not familiar with it. And basically what we're looking at here, first, you see his pitch distribution. About 60% of the time, he's coming at you with that 101 mile per hour fastball, and about 40% an 87 mile per hour slider. So 14 miles per hour of difference in velocity, plus the slider comes out nearly the same arm angle. They look identical. Go look at Pitching Ninja if you want to see the difference between these pitches. He's basically impossible to hit. He's as close to dominant stuff as anyone we've really ever seen pitch as a reliever, as a closer. And this shows the percentile in which he's basically dominating. So red is good, 100 is best. It's best in baseball, and he's 100, 100, 100. This literally looks like video game sliders. And let's jump over and take a look at his card prices, which are reflecting his dominance. Now, I will say it's really not common to see pitchers, but especially relief pitchers, going to the moon. These guys they don't get a lot of spotlight. They don't always go out there and play every game. There's a lot of things working against them. But when you're dominating as much as Miller is, people are really excited. And so we're looking at a few of his cards. We've got his Bowman Draft Auto here. That's the refractor numbered to 499. Actually not a bad looking auto, not the best looking auto in the world, but definitely at least he's made an effort to write his name. That card last sold for $95, which is a change of 58% over the last 30 days. Then we've got his raw Bowman Chrome Auto here. Not the refractor version, the non-numbered version. That one's up 20% over the last 30 days. And finally, here's his 2023 Topps Chrome Update, which is actually his rookie. He's kind of considered a rookie this year, but he did have a rookie card in Topps Update last year since he made his debut. And that card is up 67%, up $20 over the last 30 days. So still relatively affordable to get into Mason Miller cards. Like I said, relievers don't always get the most attention, which can make them really fun to collect. Or especially if you're an A's fan or even just a Mason Miller fan, you can go out and get some of his cards. Whether they're hot or cold, he's number 4 this week. All right, at number 3 this week, we've got Kyle Tucker, the right fielder for the Houston Astros. Now, after a disastrous start to the 2024 campaign, the Astros have had a little bit of a surge within the month of May, winning 10 of their last 16 games. The Astros find themselves in the hunt for the AL West title, behind the Mariners and the Rangers, who basically have failed to run away with the division. While they could have, the Astros were lingering behind. Now, Tucker has quietly entered the conversation for the AL MVP over the past month. He's currently tied for the lead in home runs with 17 and has an OPS of 1.026. Last week, Tucker compiled not one, but two home run games. And one fun fact about Tucker you might not have known, baseball runs in his family's blood. His older brother Preston was also a professional baseball player, though he's no longer in the league. And interestingly, younger brother Kyle even surpassed his brother's high school home run record. So a little bit of brotherly competition and love with the Tucker family. Now, all of Kyle Tucker's cards, as tracked by market movers, are up 25% collectively over the last 30 days. That's on 72 different cards, totaling 269 sales. And we've got a little sampling once again of his cards here. We're starting out with his Bowman Draft Auto. This is in a BGS 9.5. Very nice looking auto from Kyle Tucker. And that card over the last 30 days up 145% on 6 sales, up to $245. Then we've got his Real One. I'm a big fan of Heritage Real One autos. The red inks, definitely special with the hand numbering and serial numbering. But the blue inks are a classic and you can't go wrong. This one up to $84 most recently on May 26th. That's a $25 or 43% increase over the last 30 days. Here we're looking at his Topps Chrome Rookie Auto Refractor, numbered to $499. That's a nice on-card auto for Kyle Tucker. That one's going to set you back $320, up $58 over the last 30 days. And last but not least, here's his 2015 Bowman Draft Chrome Draft Pick Auto Refractor. First, this one, really nice looking card as well. Nice auto, up to $200 as of May 21st. That card is up $48, up 31% over the last 30 days. Our number 3 hot card this week, Kyle Tucker. All right, coming in at number 2 this week, it is Luis Arraez, the second baseman for now the San Diego Padres. Now, after being traded to the Padres at the beginning of the month, Arraez keeps delivering for them. Since being traded, he has put together an impressive .395 batting average, serving in that crucial leadoff spot for the Padres. The goal of that leadoff spot, get on base so the rest of the guys can clean up and drive you home for runs. The Padres find themselves still 5.5 games behind the Dodgers, in spite of the Dodgers having now the longest losing streak, active losing streak in baseball at 5 games. But Arraez has kept the playoff hopes alive for the Padres. And if he stays hot, he may become the first player to win 3 batting titles with 3 different teams. In his first 20 games with the Padres, he's had 3 games with 4+ hits. Now, all of his cards, as tracked by market movers, are up 44% collectively over the last 30 days. That's on 24 different cards with 114 sales. So we're looking at a few, again, of his cards here. This is his PSA 10 Topps Chrome autograph, and also small, but very fancy, very elegant looking autograph for Arraez. This is a pop 175, so pretty low pop for this guy. Some people compare him to Tony Gwynn. Other people get really angry about that comparison. At least in terms of contact hitting and not striking out, the numbers are very similar. Gwynn had a lot more speed than Arraez early in his career. So this card will set you back actually $235. I think a lot of that has to do with this low population on the card. That's a $105 increase over the last 30 days on 11 sales. It's an 80% increase. And over the last 60 days, that's a 164% increase. So very, very notable. How about his PSA 9 2017 Bowman Chrome Prospect Auto Refractor first? This card, again, much larger auto. Very interesting to compare those two things. Look at the size of those two autos. Maybe he realized he could be more efficient by being much smaller, or maybe he thought he wanted to help the auto grade by not bleeding into the space of the card. Either way, very big card there, $169 on the PSA 9, pop 55, and there's 71 higher of those in a PSA 10. And then last, how about something a little bit different? We've got his Topps Chrome Pink Refractor in a PSA 10, pop 114. There's a little bit of a cult following for these pink refractors. Some people really like them, some people don't. $75 as of May 28th. That's a $10 increase over the last 30 days, which is 15%, but that's a 158% increase over the last 60 days. So it's been a sharp increase for Arraez going to the Padres. He saw a bump, and then he continues to tear it up for him, and he is our number 2 hot card and hot player of this week. All right, that brings us to our number 1 hot card this week, but before we do, this video is brought to you by Market Movers, and Market Movers has 3.3 million cards in our database, and we use that powerful database with our price movements to go in and track which cards and which players are trending the hottest and the coldest every week. You guys need to check out Market Movers. You can try it absolutely for free. Just go to the App Store and download Market Movers. You'll get 7 days completely free to try it out, and then you can sign up for whichever one of our plans might suit you the best if you find that it's useful. All right, so at number 1 this week, I mentioned we're gonna do something a little bit different, and that is our hot card, our hot player this week. It's the Dallas Mavericks. It's Luka Doncic. It's Kyrie Irving. It's Derek Lively. It's even some others. Basically, their whole team is hot right now, and it's because they are winning. They are 1 game away, as of recording this video, from the NBA Finals. Now, 2 years ago, the Mavericks made it to the Western Conference Finals, and they lost 4-1 to the Warriors, who ultimately went on to win the championship. That was back when they had Jalen Brunson on their team, which is really interesting. They obviously let Brunson walk in free agency, who went to the Knicks and has basically become an icon there and considered one of the best players in the NBA now. And then last year, the Mavericks went out and they traded for Kyrie Irving. They brought him in thinking, okay, let's get another scoring option with Luka. And then they went on a disastrous 8 wins and 13 loss stretch to close out the season, and they missed the playoffs entirely. It really looked like the Kyrie plus Luka experiment would not work, and I admittedly did not believe it would work this year. But here we are. The Wolves could be up 2-1, frankly, in this series, but it has been the clear-cut option of Luka plus Kyrie that has been too much to handle, and they've been the 2 best players down the stretch late in games between those 2 teams. The Mavs are up 3-0, like I said, and they're looking to keep that sterling record of teams never coming back from down 0-3 intact. Worth noting also, Kyrie Irving is also 14-0 in his career in closeout situations. So overall, we just had to look at the top performers on the Mavs in general. So let's go ahead and do that. I pulled up some notable names that I reference, and let's start out, look at this general trend. You're seeing life over the last 30 days. Even if we just switch to the last 14 days, these cards are all starting to go up for these players. So I've got Derek Lively here, looking at his Prism Silver PSA 10. That card's up 120% over the last 30 days. This is one personally, I'd be careful with this. I don't really see a scenario where whether the Mavs win or lose, where this Derek Lively card stays up at $150. If you go into Market Movers and you use our price movements tool and you look at all the Prism Silver rookie card PSA 10s over the last few years, you'll see that he's pretty inflated relative to other players who frankly are a little bit more talented than he is. But he's played phenomenally. He's been very exciting to watch. He's a key contributor with Daniel Gafford as a big man on that roster for the Mavericks. And like I said, he's up $81, 120% price change over the last 30 days. We've got his Crown Royale rookie silhouettes. These are very nice cards. On-card autograph. This card is also up 150% over the last 30 days. Now we've got to look at Luka, his Prism base. Over the last 14 days, up 38%, and over the last 30 days, up 25%. We know the pop just topped over 20,000 on this card. So there's a lot of them out there, but it's very iconic and people like it. It is a great photo for Luka. That's pretty much the most iconic photo I think you could have of Luka Doncic, that little step back, fadeaway, three-point shot. Here's his Prism Silver, much lower pop 2300. That card is $2,000 as of right now. So that card has actually skyrocketed. That's a $938 change. We know just recently, Anthony Edwards had significantly passed Luka, who was hovering down, I think, around 1,100, 1,200. Now he's gone up. Ant-Man's coming down. We'll see how the rest of the series plays out and if the Wolves can pull out a miracle, but it doesn't look promising. And then Kyrie, we've got his Prism base PSA 10, which we know that 2012 Prism year, very low pop counts, pop 968. He's up 45% over the last 14 days and up 62% over the last 30 days. And on his Hoops base PSA 10, Hoops base PSA 10, don't always look at Hoops base cards, but back early in the 2012s, not a lot of rookie cards for these guys. And this is definitely one of the notable ones. Pop 439, that's gonna set you back $79 over the last 14 days, 14% increase. Over the last 30, a 42% increase. So the Dallas Mavericks are #1 hot cards going up this week. All right, everyone, that wraps it up for us this week. Make sure to go check out that Whatnot card show Thursday to Sunday, 2 p.m. to midnight. Check out the Cards HQ links. Look for all the information down below and make sure you get that $15 in free Whatnot credit. Download Market Movers, give it a shot. Until next time, thanks so much for watching. Happy investing, keep on collecting, and make sure to have fun.